Grandma Tiffany, if the affidavit is to be believed, then there are 4 more co-conspirators, Paul Grice being one of them. And he was the last to be arrested and the last to make an appearance. And you were right there at that perp walk and inside the courtroom. The volatility of the first court appearance of the first 4 was just breathtaking. What about today? What was that courtroom like?
Yeah, again, first of all, Ashleigh, you show up to the courthouse. The security is so tight. There are deputies all over the parking lot again. There's a sniper on the roof again. They've got a drone up, a police drone up. They've got the hand wand metal detectors out in the parking lot. So that's just to get into the courtroom. Up on the 3rd floor is the very, very small courtroom. They brought Paul Grice in through the front door. They actually held him in a side courtroom. And the deputies watched over him while they locked all the doors. They bring him into the courtroom. And once again, Veronica Butler's father was there. You remember last time he had that outburst where they actually had to hold him back and he was cussing at the other suspects. Today he was much calmer, but he was very, very emotional again, crying in the back of the courtroom. It was just heartbreaking. I was able to ask Paul Grice several questions as he walked in. Take a look. Paul, is there anything you want to say to the victims' families?
Sorry for their loss.
Anything you want to say to your family?
Miss them. I love them.
Paul, why did you join the God's Misfits group?
Was it worth it?
It was interesting, Ashleigh. You know, he answered the questions on the way in when I asked about what he wanted to say to the victims' families and what he wanted to say to his own family. But when he came out and I asked about God's Misfits, the anti-government religious cult group that they were all in, he just stayed so totally silent, looked straight ahead, didn't even really glance at me. And you may also notice he's now clean shaven. He had the beard in the mugshot, and he went right out there. They walk him right in the parking lot. I mean, all the locals are around watching all this go down. They walk him right through the parking lot, shackled, and they put him in the cruiser and took him away.
If he's guilty of this crime, I can imagine. Sorry for your loss. That's all he had to say about these family members of these 2 innocent moms. Sorry for your loss. As opposed to, I didn't do this. That would be my first response. I didn't do this. I am innocent of these crimes. Nope, sorry for your loss. Miss my family, love them.
He confessed, remember?
He confessed. That's what the police say. You know, that's what the affidavit says.
Yeah.
So what about his family? There's all sorts of stories now circulating that he's on his own.
Yeah, so he has got little kids. I mean, again, a tragic part of this whole story. He's got young kids. He's got a wife. They live out on a farm. You know, he's a rancher. He's a farmer. She homeschools the kids. She's got chickens. And she has left the house, we learned. They rent the house. She, according to sources, paid the last month's rent, took many of her belongings, packed up the kids, and has left town to go be with her family. We are told that she has been saying that she knew nothing about the murders, and she's still got some belongings to come back and pick up, but it appears she's not going to be living in that area anymore. She has packed up most of her stuff. She's left. She's only paid the rest of this month's rent, doesn't intend to pay any more rent, and has gotten out of here.
I mean, if it's true that she knew nothing about this, she is also a victim of this horrendous crime, and those little kids, too.
Yeah.
All right, so the other thing is there were people from the surrounding community who came today, who came to this hearing, and were standing with you as he was marched in. Give me a feel for them. What are they saying? Like, I wasn't sure whether they supported these 5 or whether they vehemently want to see the full letter of the law thrown at them.
They want to see the full letter of the law thrown at them for the most part. And let's not forget that pretty much everyone, almost in the whole county, knows the victims and also knows or knows of or has done business with one of the 4 suspects. These were people who were involved in the community, you know, big business leaders, owned thousands of acres of land. I mean, everybody knows these folks. So people come to the courthouse to take a look and also to just keep up with the case. I talked to a couple of women outside. Listen to what they said. What did you make of Paul Grice, seeing him walk in?
I felt good seeing him walk in, for him finally getting caught, and now he's on his way to see now we're on our way to see that justice takes place.
Grandma Tiffany was on the hospital board, was the GOP chairperson. Cole Twombly was the president of the 4-H. Tad was apparently had a lot of money, businessman. I mean, people didn't expect this, it doesn't seem like.
Exactly. And you know, all of us could have had interaction with these people at any time and never knew it. And now we're seeing them charged on murder charges. And it's very sad that this has happened. It leaves a lot of people destroyed.
So that was new, Ashleigh. We learned over the last day that Cole Twombly was the president of the local 4-H chapter, and his wife was the secretary. Even though they're in jail, they've been kicked off the board at this point. We talked to people on the board, but everyone we talked to said they seemed, for the most part, like nice people. There's though this thing about Grandma Tiffany. When you ask people about her, well, she was a little nutty. We heard a story, Ashleigh. She chased a plumber off her property with a gun. That if you stepped foot on her property, she came out with a gun. She's the one that people really believe was the mastermind behind all this. You know, it's in all of the reporting that's been going on, we're careful about rumors. We want to report fact. And then when you hear time after time after time, multiple people saying the same thing about a person, it starts to become a little more like reality. And that's what we heard. She seemed dangerous. She was frightening. I've heard the description, Darlene from Ozark, if anyone has seen that. Just a frightening woman, one to be wary of. And that's why so many people were so buttoned up and wouldn't talk. They feared her. Hey, Brian, don't go anywhere. I've got so much more material I want to cover with you. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.